What if the real doorway to higher consciousness was not above your head, but hidden in the center of your chest? For centuries, spiritual teachings have pointed to the heart as more than an organ. They call it a portal, a truth detector, a bridge between the human self and the divine self. And one of the most mysterious teachings connected to this space is the idea of 144, a number linked to divine order, spiritual remembrance, and the hidden intelligence of the higher heart. But this is not about chasing fantasy. This is about asking a deeper question. What part of you already knows the truth before your mind tries to explain it away? Let's begin with the thymus. Physically, it sits in the upper chest area. But spiritually, many teachings connect this region with something even deeper, the higher heart. This is the energetic space associated with compassion, truth, acceptance, and soul alignment. Some describe it as the bridge between the heart and the throat, between love and expression, between feeling and truth, between who you are and what you are here to embody. In other words, this is not just about emotion, it is about inner knowing. It is about the place inside you where truth stops being an idea and starts becoming a feeling. And many of us have felt this without even realizing it. That moment when something looks right on the outside, but your chest tightens anyway. That moment when something sounds beautiful, but deep down it does not feel true. That is the forgotten intelligence of the higher heart. And in a world full of noise, distraction, performance, and illusion, reconnecting with that center may be one of the most important things you can do. Now let's talk about 144. In spiritual symbolism, 144 is often associated with divine order, completion, remembrance, and sacred design. It is not just a number people repeat for aesthetic reasons. It carries the feeling of a code, a pattern, a spiritual architecture, a reminder that there is an intelligence beneath the surface of things. So when spiritual teachings connect 144 to the higher heart, the message is less about proving a physical claim and more about pointing towards something symbolic and profound. Maybe 144 is not just about mathematics. Maybe it is about wholeness. Maybe it is about the part of you that still remembers what your personality has forgotten. The part of you that existed before fear, before programming, before conditioning, before the world taught you to distrust your own inner knowing. Seen this way, 144 becomes more than a number. It becomes a reminder, a call back into alignment, a code for returning to center, a symbol of inner completion. Here is where this teaching becomes deeply personal. Many spiritual traditions suggest that truth opens the higher heart, while falsehood causes contraction. And honestly, most of us already know this feeling. You can sense it in the body. When something is aligned, your chest feels open. There is space, there is clarity, there is peace. But when something is false, manipulative, misaligned, or forced, something in the chest tightens. You may not have the words yet, you may not have proof yet, but your body knows. This is why discernment is so important, because your body often picks up on falsehood before your mind is ready to admit it. And that is not weakness, that is wisdom. That is intelligence beyond overthinking. Your higher heart responds to truth, not performance, not image, not spiritual ego, truth. So the real question is not just, what do I think? The deeper question is, what do I feel in the center of my being when this is in front of me? That space tells the truth. So how do you begin to activate this space? Not through performance, not through trying to seem spiritual, and not through repeating things you do not truly feel. The higher heart opens through honesty. It opens through stillness, through breath, through truth-telling, through emotional release, through forgiveness, through discernment. Sometimes activation is not dramatic. Sometimes it is quiet. It looks like sitting in silence long enough to hear yourself again. It looks like journaling what you really feel instead of what sounds evolved. It looks like breathing into the chest when life feels heavy. It looks like letting grief move, letting truth rise, letting the mask fall. It looks like telling yourself the truth when your ego wants to keep pretending. Because the higher heart is not interested in your image. It is interested in your alignment. So if you want to strengthen this center, begin simply. Be still, breathe deeply, Tell the truth. Notice what contracts you. Notice what opens you. Pay attention to what your chest says before the mind begins its debate. That is how you begin returning to yourself. And this brings us to the deeper meaning of all of this. This teaching is not about proving that you are special. It is about remembering who you are beneath fear, programming, and illusion, beneath survival mode, beneath the mask, beneath the roles you learn to perform. Because the truth is, you are not trying to become divine. You are trying to stop forgetting that you came from it. That is the real message. The higher heart is not about escaping your humanity. It is about bringing your humanity back into alignment with your soul. It is about remembering that beneath all the noise, there is a part of you that already knows, a part of you that recognizes truth, a part of you that feels energy, a part of you that knows when something is real and when something is pretending. That is the doorway, not somewhere far away, not outside of you, but within you. So maybe the secret of 144 is not about counting cells. Maybe it is about remembering the part of you that cannot be manipulated by fear, the part of you that knows truth, the part of you that feels energy, the part of you that recognizes when something is aligned and when something is pretending. Because the higher heart does not need noise to know. It listens through stillness. It opens through truth, and it awakens when you finally stop betraying what your soul already knows. Like, share, subscribe, and always remember, keep elevating.